car that has exceeded 1,000 laps in Bahrain without braking. An aggressive technical package with a smaller turbo, aerodynamics to the limit, and energy management that is playing at the border of the regulations. And the most disturbing thing, all this in the second week of testing when the others are still understanding their weaknesses. Ferrari arrives at the second week of testing in Bahrain with something it has not always had in recent regulatory changes: certainties. We are not seeing a team trying desperate solutions or accumulating laps with the feeling of improvising. We are looking at a structure that has validated its concept and is now working to optimize it. And that completely changes the reading of what is happening in Sakir. The first big indicator is mileage. More than 1,000 laps accumulated between the official team and customer structures. Nearly 6,000 kilometers completed without serious breakdowns in the power unit. In a 2026 regulation where the balance between combustion and the electrical part is more delicate than ever, this is not a minor detail. It is a technical statement. When a car can run as long without breaking down on a circuit that punishes brakes, traction, and temperatures like Bahrain, it means that the thermal concept and the integration of the hybrid system are working within safe windows. That allows the team to go from survival mode to performance mode. And this is where the word monster begins to take shape. Because Ferrari has not opted for a conservative design to ensure reliability. On the contrary, they have chosen an aggressive path. More compact turbo, very tight packaging in the rear area, and energy management that, according to what has been seen in long runs, is being exploited in a progressively more ambitious way. It would be logical that such a concept would cause initial problems. But he's not giving them. And that's what worries the rest. During the first phase in Barcelona, the work was validation. Correlation between wind tunnel, CFD, and real track. Fine-tuning sensors, collecting data, checking that what the simulator said matched what the asphalt returned. That phase seems to be over. In the first week in Sakir, the focus was on confirming that foundation in a more demanding environment. And now, in the second week, the internal discourse no longer revolves around understanding the car, but rather tuning it. Long runs are especially revealing. In Bahrain, degradation always exposes poorly balanced cars. If the rear axle suffers, the lap time drops abruptly in the second stint. At Ferrari, the degradation curve has been flatter than in previous seasons. There is no dramatic drop-off that so often conditioned their careers. The pace doesn't drop when the tire starts to lose performance. That means stable aerodynamic balance, good thermal management, and above all, a mechanical base that doesn't punish the rear compound. Furthermore, the fact that they have already introduced structured evolutions in full testing is another sign of confidence. They are not changing parts out of desperation. They are adding performance on top of something that already works. New front spoiler to adjust load on the front axle, tweaks to the floor to optimize flow sealing, and modifications to the rear area to better control the interaction with the tire. They are layers of performance, not attempts at correction. The most important thing is the context. We are talking about a profound regulatory change. In these scenarios, teams typically fall into two groups. Those that spend the preseason solving basic problems and those that can spend time exploring the edge. Ferrari, from what is being seen in this second week, belongs to the second group. And when a historic team with resources, technical talent, and established drivers can start the year exploring the limit from the test, that is a real threat. Because the real danger is not that Ferrari sets the best time on a sheet that no one takes completely seriously. The real danger is that it has margin. Room to tighten the power unit more. Margin to release more energy in classification. Room to introduce aerodynamic packages without fear of compromising reliability. That margin is what turns a fast car into a dominant car. Ferrari is not celebrating headlines. He is quietly building a solid foundation. And in the second week of Bahrain, that begins to smell like something much bigger than just a good preseason. In race simulations analyzed lap by lap, the pattern is clear. Ferrari is not using the entire available engine map or deploying electric power in constant aggressive mode. Straight-line accelerations do not show disproportionate peaks, but they do show an extremely clean and progressive delivery. That's usually a sign of management, calculation, from someone who still doesn't want to open his hand. And in a regulation where the electrical part has a much greater weight, knowing how to manage energy during a complete stint without temperature peaks or sudden drops is pure gold. Here comes a key detail, the energy concept. In 2026, efficiency is everything. It is not enough to have maximum power, you need to hold it. Ferrari has worked on extremely compact packaging in the rear area, which suggests a highly optimized cooling system. And that has a direct consequence. If you can control temperatures better, you can afford more aggressive maps for longer. That's the difference between being fast for 1 lap or being relentless for 50. What we are seeing in Bahrain is a car that does not suffer in the second stint, that does not lose stability when the deposit goes down, that does not become nervous with side winds. That type of behavior is not born by chance. It is born from the correct correlation between simulator and track. And when the correlation is good, development during the season becomes exponential, because each improvement you introduce behaves as you expect. Ferrari, for the first time in years in a major rule change, seems to have got the direction right from the beginning. In addition, there is an important strategic detail. The second week is not one of extreme experiments. We are not seeing radically different configurations between rounds. This indicates that the car's operating range is wide. That does not depend on a millimeter adjustment window to function. A car with a large window is an adaptable car. And an adaptable car on a calendar that mixes street circuits, abrasive tracks and high-speed layouts is a constant threat. While other teams still seem to be looking for balance or solving small mechanical scares, Ferrari is fine-tuning. Adjusting front loading with new elements, perfecting ground sealing and polishing the interaction with the rear tire. There is no sense of urgency. There is a feeling of methodical construction. And that changes the narrative. Because if the first week was to confirm that the car works, the second is serving to check how much margin they have before reaching the real limit. And when you start looking for the limit in preseason without the car braking, it means that the structure is strong. The monster is not just power. It is stability. It's efficiency. It is the ability to ride hundreds of laps at a constant pace without showing signs of mechanical or thermal fatigue. It's a car that doesn't scream, but it doesn't complain either. And in a championship that starts in just weeks, that can make the difference between starting on the defensive or starting striking first. And then we come to the question that really matters. What does it all mean when the traffic lights go out for the first time? Because the tests do not award points, but they do reveal hidden hierarchies. And Ferrari in this second week in Bahrain is not behaving like a team waiting to see where it is. He is behaving like one who already knows what he has in hand. The difference between a competitive car and a dominant car is not in peak performance, but in repetition. In the ability to do the same thing lap after lap, stint after stint, without premature wear appearing, without the temperature skyrocketing, without the balance changing drastically when the tank empties. And what Ferrari is showing is repeatability, stable rhythm, without surprises, no need for last-minute patches. That, transferred to the beginning of the championship, is a direct threat. Because when you arrive at the first race with the correlation validated, with the power unit reliable and with an aerodynamic package that has already received structured evolutions before officially debuting, you start the year one step ahead in understanding the car. And in modern Formula One, understanding is development. Development is cumulative advantage. In addition, there is a psychological factor that cannot be ignored. The paddock watches. The engineers speak. The data is compared. When a team completes thousands of kilometers with an aggressive concept and does not suffer, the rest begin to wonder if they chose the right path. And that internal doubt can be as powerful as a tenth on the track. Ferrari isn't just building a strong car, is sending a message. The second week in Bahrain has not been a simple closing of preparation. It has been confirmation that the project has a structural basis, that the risk assumed in the design has not compromised reliability, that the hybrid system is efficiently integrated, that aerodynamic balance does not depend on a narrow window. And when all of that aligns at the same time in a new rule year, the potential for in-season growth is enormous. Because here is the final key. This car has not yet shown its final version. Ferrari has not activated all modes. He hasn't chased fast lap headlines. He hasn't emptied the arsenal. And yet, the sensation is of absolute solidity. If it already seems robust in the preseason, what will happen when they begin to release real performance in qualifying in the race? The monster is not an emotional exaggeration. It is the combination of reliability, technical aggressiveness, room for development and stability in long runs. And all this has been evident in this second week in Sakir. Ferrari does not arrive with doubts. It arrives with a strong platform ready to be squeezed from the first Grand Prix. Now, are we facing the beginning of a new red era or simply the best preseason excitement we have seen in years? Ferrari has not needed fireworks in this second week of Bahrain. He has not looked for the easy headline or the symbolic return that lights up social networks. What it has done is something much more dangerous. Quietly building a technical base that combines risk, reliability, and room for development in a year where almost everyone fears making mistakes. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this.